I could do it like this. Close. Talk close to it, right?
Yeah, like a dick away. A fist or a dick away, you know?
Right.
You have it all in your mouth or you can go.
Yes, sir.
All right. We good?
Does that look good? I'm an eagle. There we go.
That's awesome.
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of the Financial Advisory Podcast. Today's guest is really going to be fun for us. I think that you guys are going to like him. He's kind of a filter for my audience. I think our audiences work well together. And if you can see past my shit, you're going to love John. If you can see past John's shit, you're going to love me, right? So him and I have kind of grown together over the past year, really hit it off, and really excited to have him on. So John Cerasani, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, man. Pumped up to be here. In the MGM Skyloft, no doubt, bro.
Yes.
How did you learn about the MGM Skyloft? I'm just curious. Who told you about it?
There's a really asshole guy named John gambling at 2 o'clock in the morning in the mansions. I'm like, where are you staying? And all of a sudden, here I was.
Well, you didn't even have a host. When you told me how much you bet, I go, bro, you probably fucking get. I didn't think you'd be able to get a Skyloft, but I'm like, fuck, I'm not, you know. So here we are. Here we are.
So cheers to that, right? So there's a lot of questions I have for you. I think that a lot of people. I mean, you have 367,000 followers on Instagram and growing, right? I mean, that's gonna be 400K very soon. People on Instagram see John Cerasani that John Cerasani lets them see, right? That's not you completely, and I know that because I'm kind of the same way, right? I have the same outer hard shell, softer teddy bear inside. I'm sure you're very similar to that. So how do you deal with people that see you a certain way, and then maybe you don't want them to see you that way? The presumptions of who you are.
Yeah, I think people that really pay attention to the page. That are observant and have been around for a while do see everything. They see the whole picture. I mean, you picked it up somehow, right? You got it from something, right?
Yep.
Especially women that follow me. I think my stats last time I looked was like 77% male, 23% female.
Okay.
But the females that follow me are usually pretty active, and they'll be in my DMs, or they'll be not DMs like that.
Well, pretty active, huh?
But no, they're in the comments and stuff, and I'll get really nice messages. They'll see it now. I don't necessarily make reels that often, though, bro, about stuff that maybe would show that side, because quite frankly, it doesn't really like play well a lot of times on social media. I'll talk about my parents passing and stuff like that because that's important to me. But really, my message is about leaving corporate America to be a freaking entrepreneur, and how corporate America brainwashes you to think you can't do it. And that's my message. And because of that, those views, those likes, those comments are always through the roof. So as soon as I start going a little bit of another direction with the other stuff, it's cool, but it's like a fraction of the views, man. Yeah. That's not why people are following me, Right.
So let's break all that down, because you have a wild story. Obviously you weren't always a millionaire, and you weren't always able to come out to Vegas and just gamble and have fun, right? So that you got to a level. Let's explain how we got there. So you mentioned, fuck the W-2 is one of your big things, right?
Yep.
So, but at one point you were a W-2,
right? So
what got you to say, "And fuck this, I'm out of here," right? So how'd that happen?
Yeah, so I was blessed. It's kind of like one of those things where the blessing in disguise kind of deal. I was working at this company called Arthur J. Gallagher, and it was in the insurance industry. They're an insurance giant. They didn't have their shit together in terms of grooming young producers. From what I've heard, nowadays they do have this.
Did I say grooming anyway?
Fluffing.
Back then you could probably do it.
Well, there you go, exactly. Yeah. But they didn't have their shit together in terms of like motivation and compensation for a younger producer that could kill it to stick around there. It just wasn't set up like that. They had a reputation of that's where you go to die. A lot of 40-somethings, a lot of 50-somethings that wanted to just sit on their book of business. They weren't hunters. They were right in business because they worked at Gallagher, and that was their business model. And, well, you get a young guy like me that's out there freaking producing, bringing in shit that they wouldn't have sold otherwise if it wasn't for me. Hey, I want to get paid for this shit. And it just wasn't set up that way. So I started becoming the squeaky wheel. And over time, I just started learning, I ain't ever going to be happy here. They gave me a couple raises. These are just Band-Aids.
So is this like salary, or is this commission and salary?
So they fucked up. They would do a high base salary, and then a bonus at the end of the year that was based on your production, but it was kind of fucked up how they did it. And then it was only on new business. So the retention business, which is how you build big blocks in insurance, is where you really get paid. And you weren't getting credit for that moving forward, but you were able to use that as negotiation towards their base salary. But it wasn't like a formula. It was just a talk, very subjective.
Yeah.
I go, this is fucking stupid. So I was making $140,000. I walked into my boss's office, and for whatever reason, I had just gotten divorced, and for whatever reason, I put it in my head, hey man, I need to get 180. And ultimately they came back to me and said that they can't do it. People just don't get 30% raises here, John. It's just not how we're structured. And you'd be making more than Jerry and John and
that's
all
not fair. That's not
exactly.
fair.
And they've been here for 20 years, John. It's not my fucking fault.
Yeah, they've been sucking for 20 years.
You know, and they didn't really even suck. They fit their model well.
They were content.
Well, they had the gray hair. They were very conservative looking guys, and they represented what Gallagher wanted.
Yep.
They didn't have the model for it. So this is my long way to tell you that I was fortunate for that, because had I been at another place that had young producers, they would have been paying me 30% of my book. I had an 800 grand book when I left. At Gallagher, I was making 140. At a place that's more competitive, I'd be making like 250 on that.
Harder to leave, right?
Well, I probably wouldn't have left. I probably would have thought I was rich.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the next year goes up from there, right? But that disparity between what you could make on your own and what you're actually making just gets wider and wider every time you write a new piece of business.
Sure.
So luckily for me, I realized this at 27 and said, fuck this. I'm going to start a company from my house, and did it from my kitchen table. Everybody said, you're not going to be able to compete against billion-dollar players like Aon, Marsh, Willis, Gallagher, companies like that. I go, I think I can. Let's go, motherfucker.
Let's see, right.
Yeah.
What do you have to lose? 140 grand salary?
Well,
that's not, it's easy, because that's easy to replace if you do fall on your face.
Bro.
Right? You mentioned it like...
You nailed it. Yeah. That happens all the time. So I one of the concepts that I talk about in my book, 2000% Raise, but also my previous book that I wrote in 2011 was called Paid Training. Look at your job in corporate America as training for the company you're going to build in the future. A lot of times, especially on social media, people will ask me, what do I think of college? And hey, man, go to trade school, go to college, whatever the fuck you want to do. But for me, college put me in a position to get the jobs I got after college. Whether or not the shit I learned in college fucking mattered, but it put me in that position. And then also, it also gave me this huge safety net. Oh, dude, you must have had the balls to go fucking quit your job. I was area vice president making 140, but you know what I knew, Anthony? I knew if I fell on my face out there, I could come back in the industry and get a fucking job. I could go get a job doing the same shit.
When I did a career change too, and it was, from the outside looking in, it was drastic. People are like, what the fuck? I was building power lines, making 300 to 350 a year. And I made it very easy. I mean, it was a very difficult job. I made it very easy for myself. I was good at it. But when I left, I would never go back because of the pride, but if I had to, my journeyman ticket's still active. I can still go build power lines tomorrow. And I'm still good at it. I'm still the best lineman I know, right?
Do you enjoy doing it?
I did.
Yeah.
So the point is, I took a big leap, but the leap was like, well, if it doesn't work, I can go back doing it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it. That was my motivation. But if I had to, I had a family, house, kids, mortgage, all that shit. Like, it was risky. Yeah, it was silly, but like, I didn't have any really risk. It was like, if this fucks off tomorrow, 2 months later, I'm back, whatever. This is fun. But I used the motivation of, I'm not going to fucking do that. And I made it work. And I made, people I think are so stuck in, I can't leave this. They're afraid to, but like, what do you have? I really look at the risk of not doing something is way more than the risk of doing something. That's how I live my whole life, is like, man, what if it works? What if it works? Holy fuck, look at me now. You know what I mean? Like, And I think so few people have that mentality. So my next question for you is, did you ever realize, or when did you realize you were different? And different can be a lot of things, but did you ever have that moment, like, I'm different, I'm built different, I'm wired different? When did you have that? Besides being 8 feet tall, a fucking football player, like,
if my parents were still alive, they'd tell you that they would see it when I was 6 years old. I was like, I'd always look at situations and figure out ways to make money from them. And I remember my older brother was selling fucking candy bars for his Park District baseball team or something. When I was a little kid. I'm like 5.
So your older brother was?
Yeah.
The one that said, you get badges from cops?
Exactly.
That correct me. I'm sorry. That was funny as fuck.
But he's selling these things to fundraise for their Park District football team or whatever. Well, I'm at the freaking grocery store with my mom. I ask her to buy me 2 Three Musketeer bars, and then I take them and I walk around trying to sell them for me to profit. You know what I mean? So I've always looked at it that way, and it's unique. Only because no one else in my family is like that, dude. Nobody in my family is like that. I will say, though, I do think I take after my dad. He was a high school PE teacher and football coach.
Yeah.
But that's what he fell into, because that's what his degree was in to go do. Okay.
Yeah.
His dad was a carpenter. No one went to college in our family before them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So my dad already kind of upped it.
Right.
For our family.
Okay.
You feel that? You understand?
Yeah.
And I think I'm kind of doing this.
Next
And my brother is doing great too. My brother followed in my dad's footsteps, though. He thinks a little bit differently. I think me and my dad are pretty much alike. He just happened to be a teacher, just his mannerisms, his OCD and stuff.
Yeah.
So you know, I noticed this kind of differentiating thing about me really when I started my company, because the process before I left to start it is when it kind of, I go, dude, these guys don't fucking get it. Because I'd explain to people, hey, buddy.
So much we're leaving on the table here?
No, John, you can't compete against $1 billion. I go, why not? And they go, no, you just can't. And they do this with their head. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
The fuck? Like, so it's complicated. You got to talk to this attorney. You got to do this. I go, it's not that complicated.
I think so many people are just content with punching the clock. And if you think outside of that 9 to 5, their brain rattles. They don't want to think about what it takes to do it.
Well,
it shuts them off. They just shut off naturally.
And I was a victim of my own success. And did you ever read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie? It's a great book. And anyway, it's about people skills, getting people to like you and being popular. And one of the things is acting genuinely interested in other people, which you probably do that, or you do it naturally. You didn't need to read a book to tell you that. But I would look at stuff like that in a professional setting. So when I was at Gallagher, and I was 26 years old, those 40-year-olds, I'd be asking them for advice. I'd be saying, hey, that's awesome. Hey, thank you for teaching me that. Hey, can I come on this sales call with you? And they loved it because they see this young producer looking up to them.
Yep.
Well, fast forward 2 years where now I'm contemplating leaving the company to start my own, and I'm going to these same 45-year-olds, seeing what they think of this idea. They're my mentor. They see me as the young guy that looks up to them. Well, wait a minute, John. If John goes and does this it works, he just fucked up my entire life thesis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know.
You can't ask people who are in a certain world what you think about a different world, right? Because they're going to give you the perspective that they have. And if they're 45, never left, they're not going to tell a 26-year-old to do it because they should have done it already, right?
Bro.
And I think learning that of who to ask, what advice, and that can go to family members too.
Mm-hmm.
So many people I find are stuck getting advice from their family and only their family. Mom said it's not a good idea. Dad said this. Grandpa this. It's like, do they have what you want?
Boom.
Family's family, right? That's cool. They can come to Christmas. They can be nice. We can be cordial. But I'm not going to ask financial advice to someone who doesn't have what I want,
right?
Regardless of anything, right?
Yep.
But so many people have a hard time cutting off family or not taking the advice, especially different Mexican families. They're very tight knit. Yeah. And I can't do that, man. Mom's and it's so weird to understand. I don't think that way. I don't think that way. That's like foreign to me. It's like, the fuck do you mean? So you ever had that, did you ever have that moment, or you just always been that way?
My epiphany was, this is what I like to tell people, the analogy I use is, would you ever go to some fat guy and ask him how to diet? Do you get diet? Don't get diet advice from a fat guy. Yep. Like you want to go, don't go to a W-2 employee, ask him how to be an entrepreneur. Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, or it's a good idea to do so. No, it's what?
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. One thing, this might be a little personal with money though. Yeah. When you got money, and I'm not talking, you were doing well for a while. Mm-hmm. You got to an exit and you had a shitload of money,
right?
To anybody's standards, right? How did you cope with that? And were you? The reason I ask this is I'm on a similar trajectory, hopefully, right? We've talked about this a little bit.
Yep.
What I'm already thinking about is how do I either guard people or how do I help take care of people a certain way? Have you dealt with that? Do you have something like? Well, some people deserve it, some people don't. Some people you want to help take care of, whether they deserve it or not. Why do you deal with that?
So my net worth. What's interesting is when I sold my company in 2015, I had an employment contract for 5 years. So that took me to 2020. And then, because the way the stock was set up, they had to buy me out of my stock for the next 2 years after I left. And I also got paid a year of severance. Something else happened. So my net worth was still going up from all of those things up until about 2 years ago. Okay. So my net worth literally, because I have a little spreadsheet, every quarter I'd updated. Oh, shit, that stock went up. That was great. Here's another 900 grand. I wasn't expecting that.
Going to Vegas.
But 2 years ago, that stopped. And I had to start paying attention. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because what was interesting about it is, okay, now you have this pile of money, but you don't have any money coming in anymore.
Correct.
And for the first time, I'm like, fucking wait a minute. My spending is actually taking my net worth down if I don't pay attention to this. Before, it was like, I'm making a few hundred grand a month. Like, I was never going to spend that.
You couldn't, right. And
now I don't have any fucking write-offs either. And I'm in businesses. I'm like, interesting. So I'm doing this for about a year before then I realized, okay, I'm going to start actually paying attention now. Mm-hmm. And my big thing is this, man. I just, here's how I budget my life, man. I take not my total net worth, what I have actually invest in investable assets. Okay. Multiply that by 5%. Okay. And try to live off that 5%. Okay.
So
And just treat that as my salary.
So basically you live off the interest
Exactly.
of your life or whatever you're
interest in investment dividends.
Yep.
And the reason I use 5%, because a lot of people are going to say, well, dude, at 5%, you should be able to way outperform 5%. I take into consider inflation. Okay.
Yeah.
So those years that it's like 8%, okay, that goes
good.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Keep on voting for Biden, it's gonna be worse, you know?
So once I use that, as my synopsis, or as my kind of like analysis, I should say, I then start just kind of like looking at everything like, okay, does this make sense or not? For instance, Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura have a vodka company.
Yes.
I became friends with those guys a few months ago. Bert's done a lot of nice things for me on social media.
Yes.
They let some friends and family kind of people get into this round.
Yep.
Not necessarily something I was wanting to be in.
Otherwise I've done, right?
I was actually more likely to do it if I wasn't friends with them already, to try to be in their network maybe and invest just to be around them. Probably not even. Who fucking knows? But anyway, I did it because I want to show my friends support.
Yeah,
okay. But part of my thing was, okay, how much could I afford to put in this without it like mattering?
Yeah.
So my thing was, I'm going to take this out of not my investment nest egg, okay? Because that's a wild thing. If it works, it works. But there's it's early stage, it's risky.
Prepare to burn it, basically. And if it doesn't work, whatever.
Exactly.
Lifestyle can't change. Right.
Precisely. And I am expecting good things out of that company, but I'm not going to look at it that way. Okay, I'm going to take this off of my monthly spend for the next 12 months, and I'll budget it that way. Okay, this became an expense for me for the year. Okay. And that's just how I look at it. Because before, man, for a good year, I wasn't paying attention at all.
Winging it.
Hey, maybe don't fucking stay in the Beverly Hills Hotel for no fucking reason for 2 weeks. Not a great idea.
Yeah. What about like any family members come out of the woodwork? Like, so you've been doing well for a while, so it's probably this gradual rise, but then you get to a different level.
Yeah.
Are there people you take care of, that you want to take care of, that like, you know, you have kids too? Like, what's that like?
Not really. I take, no one's ever really asked me for anything. I take care of some people. I'll do nice things for them.
Okay.
For the most part, I have one cousin that has 2 kids. Her and her husband got married recently, and they had not gotten married because they couldn't afford to have a decent wedding, and they have 2 little kids and stuff like that. So like, I'll do stuff like subtly, like, okay, so for their wedding, the check they got as their wedding gift maybe was a little bit more than what it normally would have been. I'll do stuff like that. I've never actually just went and given anyone money, to be honest with you.
Okay, that's good to know, because like I think some people, we're very similar, I think, sometimes, and like I look at charity, want to give back, and I have said this on my podcast before. One of the reasons I want to be 9 figures is I want to do big shit for people.
Right.
I really do.
Yep.
But then you have to be careful of where that's going, your energy. Is it if someone has their hand out, do they deserve it? Are they something that is it a good cause? Like, you know, vetting the good causes, right? Because there's so many charities that are scams and fucked off. It's like, you know, do you have any charities? I mean, do you do nonprofit?
Yeah. So let me comment on what you just said a little bit, because it's going to happen with you too as you continue to, just because the nature of your content, and as you keep getting more popular, you're going to start getting DMs like this if you haven't already. People was asking for something, give me like sob stories and stuff. And dude, and I got to tell you, man, first of all, think about the person that's actually asking you for money. Whether they're telling the truth or not, they're actually now asking a stranger for money.
Yep.
And every time I've done it, dude, it's probably about 4 or 5 times. One recent one really pissed me off, actually. I decided I'm never doing it again. Okay. But like, it's always give them an inch and they take a fucking mile, dude. All right? And so a lot of times, man, you don't know what the fuck they're using that money for, dude. It could be fucking heroin.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yep. You really don't fucking know. I just had this guy write this fucking 10-paragraph thing, and he wanted to be in my fucking giveaway, and I was giving away this shit. So I include him in this thing, and I added him on. I put an extra $500 to the real winner. I did this thing, and then I made him an extra winner and gave him $500. Yeah. Sure enough, the next fucking day, now his mom needs this bill paid. Can I send him more? And it's like, dude, this motherfucker, man. And then I replied to him, I go, hey, buddy, we don't know each other, dude.
Right.
And then I basically told him why. And then he messages me back like, dude, that's fine, man. Even though you called me a crackhead, I'll still support you, bro. I'm like, fuck this guy, dude. Yeah. So I blocked him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what you get, because you got to look at the person that's asking you in the first place. Who's going to ask a stranger for money in the fucking first place, dude?
Yeah. Well, I don't know how you've ever dealt with this in your life, but like, I got people that are friendly to my face, and you hear them talking shit. There's no way Fakara's going to do this. They're almost mad I'm winning, right? I think our personality can lead to people being upset we're winning because we don't fucking lose. Yeah. And they get tired of that. Like, how does this guy...
You talk about like people you know, like grew up with and stuff?
Yeah.
So I used to make a lot of content about that about 1.5 years ago, before I really like kind of blew up. If you consider me blown up right now, a lot more than I had right now as followers and engagement. Yeah. And I used to, because it really bothered me.
Yeah.
And
it bothers me still.
Yeah.
I care about these people. And you hear about, like, dude, I actually like you. I actually thought we were cool. Actually, it bothers me, right?
So I think for me,
what's up, guys? I know you're enjoying the podcast, but I want to pause this. I want to bring some attention to my sponsors, Telson Tequila. I want to go over a few cool little facts with these guys. So they are from Las Vegas, and there's thousands of tequilas in the world. Telson is one out of only 40 tequila brands that owns their own distillery. So it's super unique. It's a big flex, right? It's really fucking cool. So based out of Las Vegas, super rad. Check them out. Use our discount code FINAD20, TelsonTequila.com.
Dude, in the last year, it's because it's become so like when I was still kind of in the struggle. Hey, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to get my name out there on social media. I'm trying to be this or be that and help people. You know, why don't I justify? These guys don't even like. But once you get so established, it becomes that's their fucking problem.
Told you, buddy. Told you.
Yeah, and not even just told you. It's more just dude, okay, that's their problem. And a lot of those kinds of people, dude, that were kind of the naysayers or iffy. Yeah. Now they see where I'm at, and now all of a sudden they don't call me up and be like, he's right, but you'll start seeing that like button pressed a little bit more. This motherfucker actually did it. Yeah. And I'm not talking about financial. This is really just more of a social media.
Sure, because the social media part, because the financial part was already done. Yeah. Now you're talking about just making it on social media. They're like, well, why is this guy trying to be a clown on social media? Yeah. And now you're, hey, it worked.
Exactly.
Look at hang out with Bert Kreischer. Look at this, and
there's some things that'll come up that are just not debatable. Yes. It's that's me right there.
Motherfucker, I won. And one of the things you say a lot, and I say it too, which is, like I said, a lot of similarities, which is why I think we get along, is that you put yourself out there, right? And you put yourself out there, and you never know what's going to happen. Right. And it's almost verbatim things I've said, and I see you'll caption that, and it's you walking in a room full of all these people, these famous people, and it's like, you did it. It's like you did it, right? Yeah. And it was all intentional, and it wasn't just this persona of this fuckery that can appear to be just fuckery. Yeah. It's very intentional. Right. And for someone that I see that. I see the intention. I see we've talked about the algorithm. You study the algorithm and you take stories off after 4 hours and you're very intentional with that. Yep. And was that what you set out to do with social media? How did it snowballed? Yeah. But what was day one of I'm going to be an influencer?
Yeah.
What was that like?
So the Instagram story thing is actually really interesting. Bob Menery, of all people, is the one who taught me that. He stayed at my condo for a month and a half, unwarranted last summer. He was supposed to be there for 2 days. I stayed a month and a half. But anyway, I want to hear that. It's a story for another day. And I got fucking really bad pink eye somehow. Anyway.
That's what that came from.
That was last summer. I remember that. Dude, it was funny. Fucking weird. But he's actually the one who told me that. That he knows someone at Instagram and they told him that, and he's right. The stories follow an algorithm, dude. Okay. So your story, if you look at the stats of the story, how many people went back, how many people replayed it, how many people shared it, it treats it like a fucking reel. And they'll actually start showing your story to more of your audience as that first bubble if it's getting good reactions. Okay. So what you fucking do is always make sure your first reel in your story or your first story of the feature is a strong one. Okay. And then they also look at timeliness. So for instance, what I'll do is if I have one up there for say 7 hours and my stories, whatever, I post them so much so I don't get a ton of action, but let's say it has 15,000 views. Okay. If in 6 hours, let's say, if I then left it there, the next 18 hours, it would maybe get 1,200 more. Okay. However, if I replace it now with another story that's also fresh and stuff, that one's going to get another 15,000.
Okay. And overall net views is double.
Exactly. Okay. Now it might be some of the same people seeing them both, but
whatever. It's interaction, it's traction. So So obviously you treat social media like a job. I can see that because your day job isn't a day job. You don't have a day job, do you? Right? What's your day job is social media, and you've taken it seriously. Yeah. And you've taken it seriously by maintaining humor. Because you can't take yourself too seriously, right? Yeah. So how do you manage that? Because you can't take yourself, the dances you do, for instance, right? Yeah. They're goofy as fuck. Right. And I've even commented your daughter says do it, son says don't, or vice versa, right?
Says cringe fest, cringe fest.
But it's you do it creates the reaction you want, and you're winning, right? So I don't know.
I like to keep people guessing too, dude. I have this girl at my house too. We did a fucking TikTok dance together. Yeah. She's this younger girl who's 25 and people know I'm single right now, so immediately in the comments, people are guessing. Well, wait a minute.
I like that. It's a mystery, right?
Exactly. And just don't answer those comments. Leave them guessing. Leave them guessing.
That's fun, dude.
As long as she was okay with it. Well, she came over. I actually helped her with something business wise, and then she showed me this dance, and she has a W-2 job. Yeah. And I go, should I post this? I go, people are going to assume we're like hooking up or something. And she goes, I don't fucking care. Let them think that. And I go, okay, check with your husband. Make sure he doesn't mind.
That too. No shit. Oh, that's fucking awesome. Yeah. What's next? I know you have the YouTube series, which is wildly successful right now. It's doing great. So that's basically my understanding of that is, it's not like Shark Tank, but you're looking for people to invest with. You're competing to get your business, right?
I would say it's a combination of Shark Tank meets The Prophet meets The Apprentice a little bit. It's really its own thing. It's in that category. I don't think it's really anything that's been out there. Yeah. You could say Shark Tank's a ripoff of The Apprentice if you want to, right? If you want to draw those lines.
Of something.
Yeah, sure. Exactly. When do you think this is going to air? This pod?
2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Okay, so it'll be at the tail end. So we did an 8-week season. Okay. We just we've already filmed it all. So week 3 was last week. So this will be right towards the finale. You guys are going to be seeing who the finalists are. It's every Wednesday night at John Cerasani TV on YouTube. It's my YouTube channel. It's called The Partner. And it's been a lot of fun, man. It's been a lot of fun. It's really. I never really promoted anything hard on YouTube before. As you probably know, it's hard to get views on YouTube. It's hard to get subscribers on YouTube. It's hard to get comments on YouTube. I do YouTube shorts all the time. I got sick of it and just turned the fucking comments off. And then people email me like, dude, let me comment on this fucking one. I go, dude, the same thing's on Instagram. We'll comment there. I'm fucking sick of that because YouTube is crazy with that shit. And one of the things that I learned in this process, man, I didn't even know this existed. They call it the premiere feature on YouTube. Okay. Do you do this with your podcast?
Do we?
You know what that is? Yeah.
I should answer that question. He does all that for me.
Yeah. Well, and just like if you don't promote it, it doesn't matter that you're doing the premiere. No one fucking watches it. Okay. So what it means is this is going to premiere at 7 p.m. Wednesday night. When you're watching it at 7 p.m., you're seeing how many other people are watching it at the same time as you. And then there's also a live chat going on. And I'm interacting with everyone. I'm doing like fucking giveaways during the show.
Start doing that shit.
Well, and here's what's awesome about it. Well, it's got to put your balls out there, though. Okay. Because unless you want to hire like some Indian company to have a bunch of fucking fake numbers on there, the problem becomes, if there's only 7 people on there, all 7 of them are going to know there's only 7 people on there.
But you know what, though? Again, that goes back to putting yourself out there. Yeah. Because, like, as much as you put yourself out there, you're not going to hit a home run every time.
That's right.
Right? And you have to be willing to accept that. I think people like you and I are like, I don't give a fuck. But you want it to work, but you're willing for it to not work to know that, to make the adjustment for the next time it works. Right?
So the thing about YouTube Premiere, though, specifically, in that regard, you didn't even know what it was. Right. A lot of people don't know what it is. Okay. And so I'm like, oh yeah, everyone's gonna be watching this fucking thing. Yeah. We had like 312 people, I think, sat in the first one. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's not embarrassing. That's fine. Yeah. But I'm like, fuck, dude, I promoted it so hard. Well, throughout the course of the week, it had 20,000 views. Nice. You know what I mean? Right. So a lot of people aren't watching YouTube like that. Exactly. You didn't even know it existed. You didn't even know it existed.
When they can, when it's convenient for them.
You watch the premiere, it kind of fucking sucks. You can't pause it. You can't go backward. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but I do recommend it to people only because it sets that Google algorithm off pretty nicely right away. And anyone that stumbles across your page, it already now has likes and comments all over it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I will say something I fucking learned, though. The views don't catch up in real time. I think YouTube, do you even know the answer to this? Because I'll have 300 people sitting in watching the damn premiere. Yeah. And then it'll say 25 views. Ah. You know what I mean? It takes a while to lag. There's a lag. So anyway, I learned that kind of
I think two things from that. One, it's like, hey, you're learning all this stuff, but like, if you put 300 people in a room, you're happy.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Yeah. I said that to my assistant. I go, should we even keep doing this?
People in a room is pretty cool.
So I got 2 assistants. I got a guy, a technology person, and then a person that's like administrative.
Is that Jake or
Jack Cohen out of Tampa, and Bree Volpin Testa. I always fuck up her last name out of Chicago. Okay. And anyway, we had this call about it. I go, you know what though, man? It's a big ask trying to get everyone to go watch this YouTube premiere because honestly, I would never fucking do it myself. Sure. And Bree's like, dude, people love interacting with you. And then Jack said the same thing. Dude, it's setting us up with a bunch of fucking likes and comments when everyone starts stumbling across it. I go, that's true, I guess.
You're yes, you're on the TV, but like your accessibility is a lot of your success too, I think. You're willing to stop for pictures and joke around and even gambling with people when you don't like to gamble a certain way. Right. But you'll sit at the table, you'll fucking gamble, even like me the first time. Like, God damn it. But you're willing to do that, right? And it shows a human side of you and people dig that shit. So, don't lose that. It's fun.
Bro, I'll tell you what, man. I was gonna bring this up earlier, but it kind of segues into this too. This is when I started. I was here for the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl, Vegas. Super Bowl's in Vegas this past year. Yeah, we never ended up hooking up, did we?
Yeah, no.
I was gonna meet you in the Slayer.
I was at the game, but we just missed each other.
Cosmo.
Yeah, I just missed.
Anyway, that same night, actually, we end up in the high limit room at MGM Mansions.
Okay.
Fucking Charles Barkley's in there.
Oh, okay.
He's betting pumpkins per hand. Those are $25,000 chips. All right. And I want to say he was playing two hands. Like, that's pretty fucking cool. Charles Barkley, dude.
Yeah.
It's Super Bowl. It's Vegas. It's fucking wild. There's celebrities everywhere, right?
Yep.
So I'm hanging out in high limit. I'm playing a couple tables away. I go, yeah, it'd be kind of cool to get a picture with Barkley. Well, this guy comes up to me and goes, hey, can I get a selfie with you? And he follows me on Instagram. He goes, dude, I love your shit, man. Fuck the W2. Fuck yeah. He's high-fiving me and shit. And I go, who you here with? He goes, those guys. And it was Barkley on them. He was part of Barkley's entourage. Nice. And he goes, I go, I'm a big Barkley fan. He goes, get out of here. So Barkley gets up. He goes to grab, gets up and leaves the table, comes across the room. And of course, like you, I got a person in the distance videotaping this. Yep. Barkley walks past everybody to like high five me. I'm like, dude, that was fucking cool.
So cool.
That was fucking cool.
Yeah.
So
do you ever meet? You have celebrity friends now, and you get to watch. You have celebrity friends that are way bigger than you, right? So how? And I don't mean that in a bad way. But like you're on the way up, right? There's levels to this, right? Yeah. But do you learn from them how they interact with people? Do you keep that like, hey, if that guy can be cool, I should be able to be cool? Or you're already that way anyway? Or
I think you have a certain level of credibility when you're around these people. Yeah. You know, I know this isn't exactly what you're asking me, but I think you pick up different things. Okay, so for instance, I had the opportunity to meet Joe Rogan. We were at the same party together.
Yep.
Okay, Bert Kreischer leans over to me and says, "Hey, Rogan's coming here in about 20 minutes. Let me introduce you. Don't introduce yourself."
Okay.
And I had heard stories about Joe Rogan kind of being a tough meat, like he may be kind of a dick to you and stuff.
Sure.
But so people would ask me, we took a picture together. People would ask me, was he an asshole? Was he an asshole? No, but I also got the warm introduction from Bert.
Yes.
Hey, this is my friend John Cerasani. He does funny shit on Instagram. Oh, hey, what's up? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that is everything, dude.
Yeah. So
everything.
Back to my question. Now you know how important it is for people lower than you to get that introduction. How much it's helped you before, right? So like,
good point. Yeah, for sure, And I'll try to measure people's character to a degree, buddy. Before I do that, like if people are trying to like climb the fucking leapfrog fucking ladder right past me with my fucking contact, dude, get the fuck out of here, bro. Shut the fuck up. If you're actually my fucking boy, I will meet you. I'll introduce you to anybody, dude. Anybody.
And I learned that hanging out with Kerry from Slayer.
Okay.
Right? Him and I are very close.
Yeah.
Right? It's crazy how close of friends we are. Because I'll be in a room with people that are his friends, dude. I'm thinking I'm the new guy.
Yeah.
But no, it's me and him.
Okay.
We're tight.
Gotcha.
And I've watched him interact in rooms. And in any room he's in, everyone's looking at him like, holy fuck, it's Kerry King.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, right?
That's awesome.
And watching him be cool and understand those people are freaking out. He's super cool, calms them down. He'll sign autographs. So like watching him interact, I'm like, dude, if Kerry King can be cool, everyone should be able to be cool. Like,
dude, his life must be so funny because like he could probably walk through a shopping mall some days and not one person knows him, but then there's the three people that do know him and they go absolutely ballistic.
Yes.
I picture like in Coming to America. Remember when Eddie Murphy gets recognized as the janitor? Like, oh my God.
Dude, and that's what it is. So even at Raiders games, even at Raiders games all the time, it's hit or miss. It's either bombarded or nobody.
Okay.
And it's a different setting, right? It's not a concert. But he's a well-known Raiders fan. So,
dude, I love Slayer. Yeah. I had fucking Slayer fucking graffiti on my fucking bunk bed. Me and my brother would like draw it with markers, and I wouldn't know if I walked past him. I wouldn't know it's him.
Well, he's fucking this tall. I mean,
really?
he's a little bit shorter than me, but he looks mean.
Yeah.
Another guy, kind of like us, exterior that maybe is off-putting or people don't understand how we really are.
Yeah.
When you meet him, though, coolest dude in the middle.
Okay.
And he has an unwarranted asshole. People think he's an asshole.
Okay.
Unwarranted.
Really?
He's very black and white.
Okay.
Very, yes, I like this. No, I don't like this. People, hey, what do you think about this band?
Okay.
Don't like him.
Yeah.
That's an ass. No, that's not an asshole. He's just being honest. He's very authentic, right?
Yeah.
And unwavering. People say Slayer's music sounds the same. It's like, well, yeah, dude hasn't changed his mind about what's cool for 40 years.
Yeah.
Right? So everything, he's to a fault always the same.
Dude,
and I love
doesn't
that.
it almost gets like fucking like what's the word I'm looking for? Like surreal almost, right? When you meet these people, when you really think about it in that context, you're buddies with them. But a couple years ago, I got to meet Lars from Metallica, and I was like, dude, and once you're actually doing it, it's like, whoa, is this real life? We're like standing here together. And a couple of months ago, one of my childhood heroes, Hulk Hogan, I got to meet.
I remember seeing that.
Dude, I was so fucking excited about it, bro. Then, but once he actually walked into the room and we're sitting there bullshit, and it was like. It's like one of the guys.
Again, so my point with knowing Kerry so well, it's let me be cool with any other celebrity I meet. It's like, dude, I know Kerry King.
Oh, got you.
I'm fucking cool with Kerry.
Yeah.
And when I'm in the room with Kerry, people are looking at me like, who the fuck am I to be that close to him? So they treat me differently.
Yep.
And I'm like, it's cool, right? And I met people. I mean, Brian Slagel from Metal Blade Records owns. He discovered Metallica, and him and I are dear friends now too because I got the pass from Kerry.
Yep.
So like, Kerry says you're cool, you must be one cool motherfucker because his circle's tight.
So who discovered Metallica?
Brian Slagel.
So
he owns Metal Blade Records here in Vegas, and he's here in Vegas. Yeah,
dude. So at the Hard Rock Casino in Hollywood, Florida, right at the end of COVID, Metallica's original manager. So whoever that guy introduced them to them manage him. He managed Metallica and Anthrax were the two metal fans that were on the come up and kind of changing things a little bit. Anyway, he passed away a couple years ago, and Metallica did this fucking tribute concert with only licensed, only Kill 'Em All and Ride the Licensed Dale, the Beastie Boys. I'm going to say Ride the Lightning and Kill 'Em All, which is Metallica's first two albums. They only played songs from those two fucking albums.
Wow.
And like Robert Trujillo and these other fucking newer guys that are in the other guy that's newer in the band that replaced Cliff.
Kirk Hammett. Well, Robert was the bass player.
Robert Trio replaced Kurt, but the guy that died in the bus accident was Cliff Burton. Got replaced by
originally Jason Newsted. And then Robert replaced Jason.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay.
Kirk with the long curly hair, he replaced Dave Mustaine.
Good point. Okay. Yeah, but Dave Mustaine was gone pretty early, right?
Yes, very early.
Before those albums?
Well, he has writing credits on a lot on Kill 'Em All and on Ride the Lightning.
Okay,
Mustaine does.
So he was.
So he wrote a lot of music on both those two records.
Okay. Well, anyway, the whole point was that I think it was Trujillo. It must have been then. Trujillo was like, we didn't even know. Like, I didn't even know some of these songs. I had to actually learn these fucking things. And even the guys like fucking James and stuff, dude, we haven't played it in fucking 25 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of cool.
It's kind of cool. Yeah. We see guys at that level humanized. Yeah. Right. In fact, maybe off air we'll talk about this, but Kerry's got a show Tuesday. Okay. At Reggie's in Chicago.
At where?
Reggie's in Chicago.
Reggie's? Okay.
Tiny venue, 400 seater.
Holy shit.
I have an extra ticket.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
We could do that. So, but point is,
I wonder where that is. It's probably in the South Loop.
It is South, yeah.
Okay.
It's not very good.
Yeah, I bet it's like a blue, because over there, it's probably a blues bar. Would that make sense?
It's a tiny shithole rock bar. It's tiny. It's 400 seat. I've been there for metal shows, for like tiny bands.
Oh, so it's not even a bar. It's a live but it's a live music venue. That's what it's for. I've actually been there I saw a garage band there once.
Yeah, it's basically garage. Okay. Now, they're doing a pop-up warm-up show because this is Kerry's first show as Kerry King.
Nice.
After Slayer.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So cool. Maybe we go to that too.
Yeah. Tuesday?
That's Tuesday. Because I'll be in town for your thing on Thursday, Friday. Anyway.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about it.
We'll look at it. But yeah, anyhow, point is like him in that venue, tiny, fucking, he's an icon. He's a Mount Rushmore of metal, and he's in that. So it's
that is cool.
Those guys like that too.
Yeah, cool. That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome.
How are we doing on time? 40 minutes. Cool. We could wrap this up.
I think it's good content.
Yeah. I think one thing I want to ask, selfishly, what do you see in me, and what do you suggest, or any kind of recommendations, or any kind of advice you can give for me, someone who's kind of following your footsteps to a degree, not exactly, obviously, but like similar paths, right? What do you see that I'm already doing, or what can I do? What do you think?
I think the exemplification of your story being a linesman, right?
Yep.
Being a linesman and having like kind of the audacity to say, hey, fuck this, I'm going to go be like a financial services life insurance. Yeah, no, you're a fucking dumb linesman, dude. You have tattoos all over your fucking arm. Are you fucking a moron, dude? No one's going to buy insurance from you. I think you make that your story, dude.
Yeah.
And, I think we've talked about it, but I think you're going broader than this now. But I feel like you could have a niche just within your peers in that industry specifically.
Which I did start there, and it's solid there, but I'm branching out a little bit. But
yeah. But there's a big difference between a guy that goes to do this shit full time versus a guy that's doing it on the side. You know what I mean? Like My dad was a high school teacher, right? And there would always be like the one guy selling life insurance or retirement plans that was a teacher that also had an insurance license. And he'd meet him in the faculty lounge and stuff. That guy doesn't have the same credibility or respect as the full-time guy has.
The guy,
you know what I mean?
Right.
And also your social media, dude, is fucking good. I think, I think you keep doing what you're doing. Fuck it. That's fuck it. Can I tell a quick story, actually?
Of course, yeah.
I was posting shit that was similar, like kind of like what you see Jeff Fargo posting now, like stuff like just good business acumen stuff. I'd still kind of try to be funny and stuff like that, but it was basically good business acumen kind of content, okay? And then about a year into it, I'm in Cabo San Lucas at the Esperanza. I have this big fucking villa there.
I know this. Yeah,
it's such a good fucking place.
Yeah.
And I just had this little moment with myself, dude, okay? And I don't know if I was just feeling myself or what. It was 6 a.m. I'm in the fucking hot tub.
Yep.
I had friends of mine from Chicago, where I grew up, friends of mine from high school, friends of mine from college. And I bought a place in LA for some of my friends from LA. And he's actually getting married this weekend. Jaleel White played Urkel on Family Matters.
Yeah.
Remember Urkel?
Yeah, of course.
Steve Urkel is a good buddy of mine. And him and his now, by the time this airs, they'll be married. I'm going to his wedding Saturday. Him and his fiance.
What's up, guys? I'm sure you're enjoying the podcast. It's fucking awesome. I know. Okay. But let's talk about one of my sponsors, Alpine Moving Company. So we all know that moving sucks. Okay. Stop asking your buddies to fucking move you. It's always a problem. We know that. Be an adult. So use Alpine Moving Company. They know how to get the shit done. They offer residential and commercial moving. Also, they will move you anywhere within North America, anywhere in the lower 48, Canada, Mexico, and they're going to hook you up with 10% off. So discount code MOVE24. Make the right move.
Fiance came, and I was just thinking about how I had 6 different couples coming. They only knew each other because of me, and I was so confident everyone was going to get along. Yeah. Obviously, my Chicago friends think it's fucking cool to get to meet Urkel, right? Yep. But it was bigger than that, though. They wanted to be there, too. They liked John's business friends coming into town and stuff. And it was just like dawning on me as I'm fucking drinking my fucking coffee in the hot tub, and I grab my phone, and I go, what if I would have fucking listened to all the people telling me I can't fucking do this shit? I'd be literally on my computer right now sending fucking bullshit emails so they don't count a PTO day against me. I wouldn't even have known places like this fucking existed. Yeah. I said, fuck this. I'm going to bet on myself and do this from my house. Yeah. And it went on and on. It was like a minute 20, which is long for a reel, right? I would never do a minute 20 reel now. And I pressed send. And I thought to myself, you know what, dude? And I woke up somebody while I was yelling into it. So one of my friends comes out. I thought to myself, I'm going to take this one down in like 6 minutes, dude. Yeah. And I forgot. Okay. Because my buddy came out and goes, dude, what are you yelling about, bro? What the fuck? Yeah. And then we start bullshitting. So 20 minutes passes. Oh, fuck. And I go, fuck, dude, I got to take that down. I look at it. There's like 80 comments. And I had about 30,000 followers at the time. So it wasn't like I didn't have followers, but it was only up for 20 minutes. And I saw it go like this, dude. And it kept fucking going. And it wasn't just like the views and the likes. It was what people were saying. They go, dude, this is the most motivating thing I ever fucking heard. Yeah. Fuck corporate America. Fuck this shit. And I started seeing all this shit, bro, because my message before that, again, was like, hey, maybe do an S Corp instead of a C Corp for this reason, yada, yada, yada. Hello, haha, I'm funny. Yeah. Like this was the first time I went off on like that. Yeah. And was just like truly my fucking self. Yeah. I fucking thought places like this were reserved for Tom Cruise. I'm fucking awesome because I got fucking celebrities hanging out with my fucking my high school fucking friends. Look how cool I am. That's not exactly what I said, but that's what was going through my head. Context, yeah. And that's what fucking bled through, dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's cool. And that moment, dude, is when everything fucking changed for me social media wise, dude, because now it became, am I going to fucking go message people on a Telegram app to get them to fucking comment on my shit? And how many likes am I going to get on this one? And oh my God, I need a fucking blue check mark. Yeah. To actually be, I'm a fucking established influencer now, dude. Yeah. And it kept going. It kept going. That was it was like February last year.
I'm starting to get some of those, and I love that story because I've heard you tell that story. I love hearing it because I remember the video. Yeah. I know the video. Yeah. I don't know if I was following you before that or if that was part of it or it was about that time though when I first started following you. And I always remember like, I hired a business coach, about a year ago, 6 months ago, and one of the things it was like, hey man, make a power list of people you want to be on their podcast. Like start getting out there, and you were on my list right away. And I remember like reached out to you, and you're like, remember you replied with the video like, man, this might work out. Let's see what's up. And this was the Vegas one. It was I don't know when it was, but you ended up me being on your podcast, you turned into a whole event here.
Yeah.
And it was like, fuck, that worked out pretty good.
Exactly. That was a great event too.
Yeah.
Austin Eckler came too.
Yes.
Dude, and that's the thing about my fucking events, dude. I'll get like 30 people think I'm trying to make a fucking, I'm not making, I do the fucking math. I'm not, actually, I'm going to start making a little bit of,
but it's not extravagant.
Dude,
if
I could,
sustainable though.
If I could cover my own fucking meal on my flight, that would be great. That hasn't happened yet.
Right. But if you get there, you should, right? And
well, I think the fact of the matter is, I got people paying $200 to come to this shit when those same people probably would have paid $600 and I just don't charge this. You know what I mean? So, but for me, of all people, I hate to admit this. It's going to kill all my credibility right now. I don't hate to admit it. But Billy McFarland from the Fire Festival, do you know the guy that started? There's a guy, look it up, Fire Festival. There's a series about it on Netflix. He went to jail for, anyway. He was a speaker at my first event. He's an entrepreneur in New York, and he goes to me, dude, look how much money do you got? Do you really fucking care if you lose $5,000 or make $5,000 at this event? I go, bingo. Exactly.
Right.
Let me make sure I'm filling the room with the right fucking people.
And guess what? Because you were able to take that loss or initially, look how where it's at now.
Exactly.
Versus, hey, I got to charge $500 so I can't do it.
Yeah.
Then fuck, that's not going to work.
Exactly.
You mentioned something just now that we can wrap this up. Again, I've been trying to wrap it up. But you mentioned something that just cracked me up. You were on, I think it was Brad Lee's episode, or he was on yours, vice versa. And you were trying to be nice, and he pressed you to call out the people you want to call out.
Oh, yeah.
And you're making fun of Andy Elliot. Oh, you fucking Rob Banks, dude. Like, you fucking Rob Banks. I fucking loved it. And the reason I love that is because I got caught up in the whole coaching thing where I hired a coach, and I'm not going to rag on him. He got me to a level, right? He helped me.
Yeah.
But it got to be where I felt he wanted to be Wes Watson.
Yeah.
I don't work well with that, dude.
Okay.
I'm not someone you're going to yell at and get a good response out of.
Yeah.
Right? It just doesn't work. And I think that whole world of those coaching people, they're getting rich on selling the coaching that they got rich. Like, what the fuck did you actually do?
Yeah.
How are you here? Where's your credibility, man? Well, I'm starting to hate it.
I never told you. I never told anyone this. It's kind of fucking funny though. So Bradley put me on the spot. I didn't want to call out anyone's fucking names.
He pressed you, and I think it was great content. He did. You, to your credit, I think you're very, when to be reserved. Hey man, he pressed you though, and you're like, all right, well,
brother, I was trying to give him a compliment. I was trying to say to him that I had reached out to him a year earlier, much like how you're doing with me right now. I did to him. I reached out to him like a year earlier.
Brad or Andy?
Brad.
Okay.
And so I was reminding him on my podcast, hey, dude, you probably didn't know this, but there's a lot of people like I'd see you, and I go, okay, I actually vibe with that guy. Yes. He's fucking legit. Some of these other guys are so full of shit selling courses about courses.
Yep.
And he goes, Who? I'm sitting there giving Brad a compliment. That was Brad. They're getting off subject here. Well, who? Yeah, I go a lot. He goes, so many you can't name one?
Dude,
this motherfucker.
He pressed you like 3 different times. I'm like, but he knew what he was doing. He got some good content out of it.
So I fucking say Wes Watson. Yeah. And
it was Wes and Andy, I thought.
Well, Andy, it's a little bit of those, but here's what's
different. Yeah, anyhow.
Here's what's funny about Wes Watson, though. People that don't know who Wes Watson is, he was in prison. Anyone that was incarcerated that comes out of jail and does something positive, God bless him. And I truly feel that way.
Same here.
I'm not backpedaling. I truly feel that fucking way. I wasn't trying to rip on Wes. I do think it's kind of funny that people pay him $20,000 to hang out at a mansion in Miami, and he treats them like they're in a prison yard doing burpees. I don't know why anyone paid $20,000 for that, but whatever, dude, whatever. Yeah. So that was the nature of me and Brad's conversation. Yes. Brad's fucking laughing.
Yep.
Wes fucking sees it. Okay, I've never talked to Wes. We don't know each other.
Right.
He messages me.
Oh, man.
And it wasn't even, but he goes, dude, do some fucking research, bro. I'm selling courses about selling courses. I'm selling it now, but I made all my fucking money showing people how to do the right mindset and blah, blah, blah. And it kind of made sense what he was saying.
Sure.
And then I fucking go back to him. I go, dude, listen, man. I said what I just said. Hey, anyone that's out of jail doing something positive, bro, it's whatever, dude. It's just a fucking preview of the thing. Yeah. He goes, oh, well, that's fine, dude. You should do some research, bro. And then you could tell his wheels started turning because he left for 5 minutes, but I could still see he was on my fucking page.
Yeah.
And then he comes back and he started off nice.
Yeah.
And he starts leaning into me. Fucking, why are you hiding your likes? You only get 20 likes, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Using my fucking name. You're using my name like a fucking broad to get clicks, blah, 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 blah. And I'm reading this shit. And I had talked to him like I'm talking to an adult that has a brain. And I'm not even trying to rip on the guy, but
I know what you're saying,
it wasn't even a good conversation. It was it's like I'm gonna go talk to this fucking wall right now.
Yeah, you realize, wait a minute, why am I wasting my time?
Yeah. Well, and also I started to think to myself, and you got to be careful about this shit. I need to be more careful about it. You start to think maybe he was writing it in a certain way to screenshot it. You know what I mean? And
to bait you into Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like honestly, dude, whenever I start sending, people are like just saying stuff for screenshot purposes. For screenshot purposes, it's fucking bad.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, and whatever, fine, Wes. It's fine. I'm not even in their category, dude. What I do is so much fucking different than what those guys do. It's not even like, it's apples and oranges.
Right.
It's apples and oranges.
It's also, you should feel free to call out whoever you think is full of shit. And there's nothing wrong with that.
And I meant what I fucking said.
Right,
it is bullshit. You know, it's like, whatever. God bless them, but here's
what I think. Kind of the point of like, hey, if you come out of prison and you make a life for yourself, good for you. Also, if you find value in what that dude's selling, if you find value in Wes Watson's course, and you want to pay him $20,000 and it makes your life better, good for you, dude. I don't give a shit.
Right.
But don't. I'm not going to do it.
Well,
it doesn't work for everybody.
What dawned on me with that exchange.
It's not just Wes, by the way. It's a lot of these courses. Andy Elliot, the same one.
What dawned on me with that exchange is that he is doing this as his income source to make money. And I'm undermining that process by, and if I look at it from that purview, it's like, do I really give a fuck? I don't really give a fuck. I got my money, dude. I don't fucking care. You know, if you want to ask, Brad asked me my opinion. I fucking gave him the fucking answer. You know what I mean?
Which everyone's entitled to.
Yeah. No, I said something fucking probably perceived. It should have been probably perceived worse for Andy. But I will say, if you listen to Andy Elliott's shit, it's good for exactly what it is. He's a car salesman, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, you want to go close car sales? You go try to do the shit Andy Elliott talks about in business-to-business sales. Get the fuck out of here. It ain't going to fucking work, buddy. It ain't going to fucking work.
But to me, though, it's a little misleading because he doesn't just say, hey, if you sell cars, I can help you. It's like, I can help everybody. Nah, you can't. You have a niche market.
Yeah.
You kill it there, but then market it that way. Don't try and... I got invited to one of his events. They wanted me, and I'm like... No, man.
It might kind of work for life insurance to a degree. Not higher end life insurance, though. I don't think.
No, I don't. That's not what I'm good, and I don't need it for. I'm already having a niche market. I'm looking to expand on that for the.
Yeah.
So I was like, no thanks. Which I got recently pretty good at saying no. I don't need a lot of these opportunities.
You know, it's funny, man. These little things that I would go through, like clean themselves out. So I made a reel about a year ago, ripping on people in solar sales. Not ripping on. I'm just calling into thought the ethics involved in the process.
Yeah.
People are in my fucking comments being like, well, I thought you were friends with Bradley. Ask him about his solar company, and like challenging me on stuff like that.
Yeah.
Here we are a year later. If I made a reel like that, not one fucking person would challenge me, dude. And that just comes with like credibility.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And honestly, like I said, we should all be able to sell your opinion. We don't have to rip on anybody, but if someone asks me about somebody and I say it, don't fucking come at me.
Yeah.
It's fine. We can all coexist. I don't have to like you. I don't have to like your shit. I got to buy your shit. It's not for me. And if you ask me about it, I'm going to tell you, that's not for me. Maybe it works for him. If it works for you, I'm fucking happy for you and him, but it's not me.
Well,
that's okay.
And I got news for you, dude. This happened for me for sure. My audience is like this, right? And the people that listen to you are diverse. A lot of people, as popular as we think they are, a lot of people have no idea who the fuck Wes Watson and Andy Elliot are, by the way.
That's true.
So you be careful when you start making reels about these guys. But like, who the fuck are these guys?
Right. Yeah.
Did you see when I did the Dave Ramsey one?
Yeah.
The Dave Ramsey one. Yeah. Everyone's like, who the fuck's Dave Ramsey?
Dave Ramsey. Yeah. I love that, though, by the way. I love shitting on Dave Ramsey. He's so much fun because like everyone, and it's like not just me and you, like people who have made it or a certain level, they know it's bogus. It's fucking garbage. The comment I made was like, he's a Planet Fitness of finance. Got 100 fucking likes or whatever. Kind of making different ones, but that one stuck out. Was he's the Planet Fitness of finance.
Yeah, I mean the sad truth is what Dave Ramsey talks about. Unfortunately, he's telling you that you're dumb. He's saying, hey, you common American person, you're a fucking dumbass. You can't think critically like this with your money. So you have to do this and pay off every debt you own because you're not smart enough to do what rich people do.
Yes, exactly. And to his credit, he's not wrong. Right. Most people
he makes a point.
Most people are dumb. The Walmart crowd is the overwhelming majority. So his niche market is dumb people.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
But don't spin it like people who don't do it are dumb.
Yeah.
We're just different levels. But
right.
That's why
I wouldn't even say dumb. I would say financially illiterate.
Right.
Because there's people that are successful that just don't understand this shit.
That's fair. I just call them dumb. That's me. Whatever. But I know you're right. It's proper to financially illiterate. But at the same time, what I don't like is when he shits on things that do work with the right coaching and mentality. Like life insurance. He shits on whole life. It's like, dude, if you use that the right way, you're going to do way better than what your fucking Mickey Mouse program is. But like, that's what I don't like. It's like the rest of it, I don't care. Stay in your lane. Stay at the fucking Dollar General store. I don't give a shit. But when you sit there and fucking rag on what I do, act like it's a scam, I got to defend myself to people. It's like, no, fuck you.
Bro,
That's what I don't like.
I like when because of you. He started showing up my algorithm because of you, and he's like taking these calls on these radio shows, dude. And he's like, "Hey, I'm 26 years old, and I'm $328,000 in debt." And he goes, "Lordy, Lord, how did you get that much in debt?"
It's like a fucking panic attack on TV and shit. Yeah.
What should I do? Jump off a building?
Yeah. He's a fucking character.
Yeah, man. So.
And yeah, we'll wrap this up. This has been great.
Bro.
I appreciate you coming on. You didn't have to. You did. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks, brother.
Yes.
Good job.
Yes.